Hello, it's a pleasure to join us once again. What began as an ordinary day for Umukari Usman ended in one of the most imaginable horrifying tragedies. The mother of four reportedly left her home with a simple purpose: to attend an Islamic gathering where she hoped to participate in religious activities and join fellow worshippers. According to those who knew her, she was a respected Islamic teacher, a wife, a mother, and a woman whose life revolved around faith, family, and community service. Yet, somewhere around her journey, confusion turned into suspicion, suspicion turned into accusation, and accusation turned into deadly frenzy. Within hours, a woman who had reportedly done nothing more than ask children for directions found herself at the center of a rumor that would ultimately cost her her life. By the end of that day, she was dragged from police protection, brutally killed by an angry crowd, and set ablaze in a shocking act that has left many Nigerians questioning how such a tragedy could happen in a society governed by law. What happened next demonstrates how dangerous misinformation can become when spread unchecked. The children allegedly became frightened and began shouting that she was a child kidnapper. Within minutes, word spread throughout the area. People who have never met her and knew nothing about her or her background reportedly joined the growing crowd. No formal investigation had been conducted, no evidence had been presented, no missing child had been identified. Yet the rumor spread rapidly, fueled with fear, emotions, and the collective panic that often accompanies allegations involving children. Recognizing the danger she was facing, local leaders attempted to intervene. The village heads, religious leaders, and concerned residents reportedly worked to calm the crowd and prevent violence. Eventually, police officers arrived and took Umukari into custody, not because she had been found guilty of any crime, but because authorities understood that her life was in danger. Under normal circumstances, this should have marked the beginning of a proper investigation. The police station should have served as a place where facts could have been established, witness questioned, and evidence reviewed. Instead, the situation deteriorated dramatically. According to eyewitness accounts, a large and increasingly hostile crowd gathered outside the station. Stones were allegedly thrown, tensions escalated, and before long, the mob forced its way into the facility.
When the police arrived, we were able to take her to the police station. I was with her Islamic teacher, who also came to the police station to plead with the crowd. I later went back to the police station where she had been sitting, but she was no longer there. When I came outside again, I found out that she had been killed.
The accounts emerging from the scene paint a deeply disturbing picture. Witnesses claim that the crowd succeeded in dragging Umukari out of the police custody, despite efforts by some individuals to protect her. The same people who had never seen her commit any crime allegedly took it upon themselves to determine her guilt and carry out a sentence. There was no courtroom, no judge, no evidence, and no opportunity for her to defend herself. There was only anger, fear, and mob mentality. In one of the most heartbreaking details to emerge the incident, a religious leader who knew Umukari personally stated that he reportedly told the crowd she was innocent and had been his student for years. According to him, nobody saw her carrying any child, nobody identified a kidnapped victim, and nobody presented proof of wrongdoing.
The woman was my student and I had known her for many years. Yesterday, she left home intending to come to where I was preaching at another school in Old Maramba, Jos. She did not know the exact location, so she asked some children for direction. The children became frightened and started shouting that she was a child kidnapper. Nobody saw her with any child. Anyone claiming they saw her carrying children in a sack is lying. She had no child with her. If she had kidnapped children, where are the parents of those children? They simply killed her unjustly. I also went there to tell them that she was not a thief, but they took my motorcycle, placed it on her and burned both of them.
Yet, those pleas reportedly fell on deaf ears. Moments later, she was killed and her body was set on fire. The human cost of this tragedy extends far beyond the victim herself. Behind every headline is a family struggling to cope with unimaginable loss. Umukari's husband, Aliu Muhammad, has spoken emotionally about the devastation left behind. He insists that his wife was innocent and said he arrived only to discover that she had already been burned alive.
I am confused and heartbroken because she did nothing wrong. She was an Islamic teacher and was simply on her way to attend a religious lecture when people stopped her and accused her of stealing children. She was falsely accused and then killed, leaving me alone with our children. What I want is justice from the government because I am a poor man. I was at work when someone called me and said my wife had been caught trying to kidnap children. I called a friend and asked him to go there before I arrived. By the time I got there, they had already burned her. What pains me most now is that I'm left alone with the children.
Perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this testimony involves their young children, particularly their 4-year-old daughter, who reportedly spent the night asking why her mother had not returned home. For many Nigerians, that imagine captions the true horror of this incident. A child too young to understand violence now faces a future without her mother because strangers believe a rumor rather than waiting for facts. It is a reminder that mob justice does not only kill individuals, it destroys families, traumatizes communities, and leaves emotional scars that can last a lifetime. The tragedy has ignited a nationwide conversation about growing problems of jungle justice in Nigeria. Across the country, there have been numerous cases where individuals accused of theft, kidnapping, witchcraft, and other crimes that have been attacked by mobs before any investigation could establish the truth. In some cases, the accusations later proved false. Yet by then, the victims were already dead. This pattern reveals a dangerous erosion of trust in institutions and a growing willingness among some citizens to replace due process with instant punishments. Legal experts warn that once a society accepts mob justice as a substitute for lawful investigation, no one is truly safe because anyone can be the next victim of suspicion, misinformation, or mistaken identity. As police continue their investigation and make arrests connected to the attack, many Nigerians are asking difficult questions. How did the crowd become more powerful than the law? Why were rumors treated as evidence? Why did so many people participate in violence against a woman who had not been proven guilty of anything? Most importantly, what steps can be taken to ensure that another innocent person does not suffer the same fate? Until those questions are answered, the death of Umukari Usman will remain a painful reminder of the deadly consequences that arise when fear replaces reasons, when rumors outweigh facts, and when the mobs decide that the accusation alone is enough to justify a death sentence. May her soul rest in peace. I am Chimezirim Okoro. Thanks for watching.